Hello everyone, I'm Adam Papagan and welcome to another episode of the ASMR talk show. ASMR are soft sounds that when you hear them it causes a little tingle in your brain. We are a talk show based on that interview talk show. We're talking soft voices if it's the first time you're joining us. So I celebrated a birthday recently. Won't say how old I am. A lot of people think, oh yeah, life gets better. Being in your 30s isn't so bad. Like, getting old is good. It's fine. I'll be honest with you. I liked being young. I thought it was a lot of fun. And I still get carded every once in a while. I know that they have to do it, but when they ask me for my ID, it's like, oh, okay, I pretend to be really flattered and stuff. But I know that with each year that passes, that's going to happen less and less. And one day I will reach the point where I get carded for the last time, and then nobody would ever possibly believe I was under 21. So I was thinking that for that day, I need to get a fake ID that says that I'm under 21. So if they ask me, I can pull out that, and I'll be like, oh my God, you got me. I'm 20 years old. And, just kind of a little ego boost thing. But back to my birthday this year, I really couldn't decide if I wanted to do something or not, invite my friends out, because I didn't want to be a burden. Oh, everybody drive across town, come sit in this bar with me. Well, it's my birthday or whatever. And I was almost not going to do anything. But then I thought, you know what? Every day you're trying to get people to do what you want to do. You're trying to not exert your will on them, but you want things to go your way and you want to do just exactly what you want to do. At your birthday, everyone has to do what you say pretty much, especially your close friends. So I thought by not doing something for my birthday, I would be wasting an opportunity to make everyone do what I wanted to do. So, called up some of my close friends. We met at the bar. It was fine. We had a good time. But I didn't get what I really wanted, which was an ID that says I was born in 1999. So maybe next year. Folks, we have a very interesting show tonight. My guest tonight is an entrepreneur, a museum curator, a little eccentric, but like in his own way. You would never know it unless you heard about all the stuff he was into. But he's the founder of Juan Pollo chicken restaurants. Please welcome Albert Okura. How you doing today, Albert?
Good, Adam. Good to meet you.
So you do a lot of different things, but it all stems back to Juan Pollo, right?
Right. Juan Pollo is my base, and I'm the chicken man. Actually, in the last 30 years, I've cooked over 1 million chicken by myself, and that's more than anybody in America.
How do you know it's 1 million chicken? I'm not doubting you. I'm just wondering how you.
Because what we do, we sell bulk quantities of chicken, mainly with catering, and so we're selling, we're cooking maybe 50,000. Every month. And for the early years, I worked out day and night, so I would cook about 5,000 a week. In one year, that comes out to about 50,000. 10 years, that's 500,000. 20 years, that's that's 1 million.
Do you ever have dreams about all the chickens, like nightmares about the chickens coming for revenge?
I just keep trying to figure out how can I cook the chicken better and tastier and make everybody happy.
Get to 2 million chickens.
Well, or more.
Billions of chickens.
Well, my goal is to be the chicken man of the world.
Do you feel any, because a lot of people might say that Colonel Sanders is the chicken man. Do you feel kind of a camaraderie, a kinship with Colonel Sanders?
Well, yeah, because Colonel Sanders became the face of Kentucky Fried Chicken. And the only problem he had was he really wasn't an operator. So in the early days of KFC, they would sell buckets of chicken. Now they change their business plan to do pieces, but they're selling by the pieces, like 1-piece combo, 2-piece combo. So you don't really sell a lot of chicken that way. What we've done is do strictly mainly catering, and so a very common order for us is 3 chickens at a time, where 3 chicken for KFC would be 24-piece bucket. And I don't think they sell that too many, but that's a very common order for us now.
And it's rotisserie chicken, right?
Right, it's rotisserie. When I was younger, I was a hamburger man. I never ate chicken because I never really liked fried chicken, because especially KFC. KFC was delicious. You get a hot KFC in the early days, it's delicious, and it tastes so great. Then you eat the second piece, delicious, and by the third one you get heartburn. And I don't know what it was, so I never really took a liking to chicken. And I grew up eating McDonald's. McDonald's came to the town I was in, which is Wilmington, California, in 1961. Changed my life. I became a devoted hamburger guy, because in 1961, I was 10 years old. I was making $1 a day delivering newspapers, and the cheapest hamburger in town before McDonald's was 29 cents. And there comes McDonald's at 15 cents, and 15 cents French fries. So I ride my bike 2 miles to go to McDonald's. Because when you're little like that, I had plenty of time but no money. And so I just grew up eating McDonald's. I kept eating McDonald's all the way to my 30s. Even now I still eat McDonald's when I get in the mood.
So you remember a time before there was McDonald's?
Right.
So just one day everyone was like, hey, there's this new restaurant.
When McDonald's came out, it changed the landscape of everything. And all of a sudden, all these fast food chains started popping up. And by 1970, I got a job at Burger King. And I became management then. And Burger King at the time was owned by Pillsbury Corporation, which in the 60s and 50s, they were the biggest baking company in America. And so they had deep pockets, and they rivaled McDonald's as far as the amount of stores restaurants they opened. The only difference is everyone went to McDonald's because they're driven by Ray Kroc, Mr. Entrepreneur himself, and Burger King was just corporate. And so Burger Kings would do maybe half the sales of McDonald's. Even when McDonald's came out with their breakfast menu, I was working at Burger King, and they would do more for breakfast than we would do the whole day. But the chains sprouted everywhere in those days. I think the 60s was the golden age. In the 50s, there were no fast food in California to speak of. And so I grew up doing fast food. That's my generation. That's why when it came time to do something in my life, I had the opportunity to open a chicken restaurant. Actually, it was a charbo chicken restaurant. So I jumped. I said, I'm going to do this. I was doing nothing in my life at the time. Actually, I was working at Del Taco making $400 a week, and I was 31 years old. And I was at a crossroads. I said, what am I going to do in my life? And so I set out to open a chicken restaurant. And my uncle had property in Ontario, California, which is San Bernardino County, which if you grew up in LA, that's the last place you want to ever live or go to or work. And I took the move. I said, I'm going to go do this 5 years no matter what. And then by the second year, I knew this was my life.
You were just going to be doing, you're already a fast foodie. That's what I call like a foodie who likes fast food.
Right, I was a fast food guy. Then my whole meal was fast food. I grew up eating Taco Bell, Winter Thistle, McDonald's, Burger King, Carl's.
Not Burger King, but all those other chains are from Southern California.
Right. My favorite three places was McDonald's, and Taco Bell, and Winter Thistle, and they all have the roots in San Bernardino. And now we're talking about McDonald's. I own the site of the original McDonald's, and at Dick and Mac in 1948, Dick and Mac McDonald, they opened McDonald's in San Bernardino, 2 miles from my second Juan Pollo, and I didn't even know that. In 1986, I opened my second store, Juan Pollo, in San Bernardino. Then I find out that McDonald's started there. I had no clue because I only knew Ray Kroc. Ray Kroc bought the company in 1961, and for the longest time, he let everybody believe he was the founder. And he never talked about the McDonald brothers, so I just grew up loving McDonald's. It didn't dawn on me there could have been a McDonald brothers. And when I went to San Bernardino, I found out McDonald's site was there, and it was just a 4,000 square foot building. There was nothing, it was just a site. And then actually by 1998, that property came up for sale. It was in foreclosure, nobody wanted it. So I jumped, I ended up paying $135,000. So now I own the site of the original McDonald's.
And you've turned into, so from the chicken business, you've now become a museum curator. How involved are you in the museum? Because it's also your corporate headquarters.
Right, I put a corporate office. Yeah, I bought the property. It was in foreclosure, nobody wanted it. And so they could get a buyer, and so they put a story in the paper that says how sad the site of the original McDonald's for sale, nobody wants it. Could be torn down, could be destroyed. And what happened before I bought, for the time I first saw the property in 1986, the time I bought it, the San Bernardino City Land Office, they purchased the property 1992, and because they were nonprofit, they got McDonald's Corporation to come give their blessing on that property. McDonald's Corporation, they installed a monument saying, yes, on this site, the Dick and Mac McDonald's opened the very first McDonald's. And the remnants of the original street sign is still there. And the corporation, McDonald's Corporation, put a disc on top of that sign saying historic site of the original McDonald's with their logo. So they can't, and at this point, they can't really walk that back. So that was included in the sale. So I bought basically an empty building. And then I wasn't sure what to do because San Bernardino has been a depressed town. And 5, 6 years ago, they filed bankruptcy, and they're coming out of it now. But most of the people that they can do business or have money, they left the city, and so it's hard to do business now. So I bought the property. I didn't know what I was going to do. I said, okay, I'll put my corporate office in the building, and then I was always interested in publicity and promotion. So when I closed escrow on that property, this was 1998. And there was 2 or 3 articles in the paper, and then I was on all the local papers, and one of them said, well, Albert's going to put a museum, McDonald's museum. And so then people started calling me, and so I said, okay, I better put a museum. So I set about to open a museum, even though it wasn't my intention, and usually I probably said that to the reporter that I'd do a museum, because I found out in those days, the more you talk, the more the ideas you throw out, the more they write down. And my thing is throw out any ideas and see what sticks. And so when anyone started calling me to do a museum, I said, yeah. Actually, they started calling me when we buy things. And then that year is 1998. I closed escrow in October, and a friend of mine says, you know what? You have an anniversary coming. This is December 12th, 1998 is a 50-year anniversary of the original McDonald's hamburger. So I said, oh my goodness, and I had an empty building at the time. It's 4,000 square foot. So I called the mayor up. I said, well, we're going to have a grand opening of a McDonald's museum on the 50th anniversary. And so she sent her right-hand person down, and she didn't think we could do it. But I got everybody together, and we bought a few things. We bought a bunch of picture books of the history of McDonald's, put them all over the wall, and we had a grand opening on the exact 50th anniversary of McDonald's.
Well, but the museum is still open, and it draws people from all over the world because it's the unofficial McDonald's museum.
Right.
So it's really like the fans' museum.
Right. I found out that McDonald's was the foreign countries, they fled when they come into America. They just love McDonald's, and what really helped us the last 5 years is social media, and internet and smartphones. The early years, we are in Route 66. San Bernardino is a Route 66 town, and for the longest time, McDonald's claim in San Bernardino was that it was located on Route 66. So we get the early travelers of the Route 66, but nobody still knew McDonald's was founded in San Bernardino. Like I said, I was in the food business my whole life. Nobody I ever knew that McDonald's started in San Bernardino unless they grew up there. And when we talk about the early start there, the two of the people that used to go by the McDonald's in San Bernardino in the early years was Glenn Bell and Neil Baker. And Glenn Bell went on to found Taco Bell. And really what he did, they don't talk about, but he invented those hard shell tacos because he knew he couldn't compete. He didn't want to compete with McDonald's hamburgers, and that's why he invented the Winter Sizzle too. And Winter Sizzle, when I was growing up, 15 cents, everything, all the hot dogs 15 cents, and Taco Bell, all the Taco Bell stuff 15 cents, and McDonald's all 15 cents, and because Glenn Bell spearheaded that. And even when Glenn Bell started opening his Taco Bells, most of the Taco Bells were in the South Bay area, and that's where I grew up. And when I was in middle school, I would go to Winter Sizzle. They opened up the 50-cent hamburgers. I go there almost every day. It's on the way to school. And after I come to San Bernardino, I find out that was the very first Winter Sizzle. So I used to go there, and I had no clue.
Yeah, it is in Wilmington.
Yeah, and they made that a historical building now. I used to go there every day on the way to school, and I didn't know that was the first one.
What do you think it is about fast food that people like beyond the convenience and the taste and stuff, because there's this kind of something comforting about it, you know, about these big brands. Like you're fondly remembering hot dogs you ate 50 years ago. You're like, man, that was
Right.
great hot dog I had 50
One thing,
years ago.
some of the companies have become too corporate. See, that's McDonald's problem in the last 20 years. They're viewed as the evil empire now, where the other countries, they still view McDonald's as a great, exciting entrepreneur type business. And so some of the chains, like In-N-Out, perfect example, they have a tremendous following because they stayed more local with ownership. And actually with In-N-Out, see, I don't know if you know, but In-N-Out started the exact same year as McDonald's, 1948.
Yeah.
And then they took two different paths. So there's a path each one chose. In-N-Out became a cult following. It was a minor cult following by the 70s, but they kept the family owned. Where Ray Kroc saw opportunity to have a big, major corporation, and he wanted to help people make, do better. He wanted people to invest their time and effort in it, and he wanted to make them successful. He knew that would make the company successful. So he had just a big following with just regular people, because everyone who got involved with McDonald's in early years as by franchising, they became millionaires. And In-N-Out, they as they went along, they started getting more and more with a cult following, but they are only family owned, so there's no opportunity for anyone to make money. So the path I took when I started doing Juan Pollo, I said, okay, which way do I want to go? So I said, okay, I'm gonna try to shoot for what McDonald's did and help a lot of people. So most of the early people that worked for me as hourly employees, they came with really no training, no skills. And actually what I did was when I started, I kind of booked the laws. I hired a lot of workers when they're 13 and 14, and some even 12. But I never got in trouble because I paid them all adult wages. So I didn't pay anything under the table, everything. And so by the time they're 18, some had 5-6 years of experience working, and I let them get their own stores. And half the early owners, well, actually, most all of them still with me. But a lot of the guys became millionaires because they learned how to save their money or reinvest. And most of the people that work for me, their parents were immigrants, and some were probably don't even speak English. I don't know, but I've helped improve their lives. So, where if I took the other way, I had 3 kids, and they're all graduating college right now. 2 are out, and they can help me grow big. But then I don't want to end up like In-N-Out and become a family business, and I would be wealthy and kids would be wealthy, but then there's not opportunity for the others.
Do you think, had it not been for Ray Kroc, because I'm sure you've seen the movie The Founder, and he's sort of portrayed as like kind of controversial, he stole this idea, but he's really the one who, I think he is really the founder, because he's the one who gave us the McDonald's we love.
Right,
so locations.
Right. So
but do you think that McDonald's would have been like In-N-Out had it not been for Ray Kroc?
No, because McDonald's, they wanted out of the business. They didn't see the future like Ray Kroc did, and so they made a terrible mistake because
They must have keep our voice high. Yeah, they made a terrible mistake.
the mistake they made was they didn't see Ray Kroc as the guy who could take him in the big time, and they were more interested in. They had a system they invented,
The speedy system.
speedy service system. They're very efficient. They want everything perfect. And Ray Kroc, he wanted to grow the company. You had to make certain changes to make it work, And the McDonald brothers didn't understand that. Or they didn't want to be part of that. All they had to do was just tag along and just be the face of the company. And had Ray Kroc not come, McDonald's would have died out in San Bernardino. There never would have been a McDonald's, a Happy Meals, Ronald McDonald. And if Ray Kroc didn't find the brothers, he never would have found a vehicle. Because even if you watch a movie, he says he knew that's Americana. This is the all-American name, all-American everything. It's some meat and potatoes, French fries, bread, and that's what America was founded on. And then that's what the foreign countries see right now. So a big interest in these other countries. They see McDonald's as Americana. Because now that you mentioned the founder, we get 100 or 200 people a day coming to see our museum. Most of them because they've seen the movie, and most of them is especially a lot of these foreign travelers. They see the movie on overseas flights, because were, that movie's one of the choices they could have. And anyone coming to America from another country, if they have a choice to see McDonald's, they can see McDonald's. They know McDonald's. And then one day, and then with social media, they Google what's the history of McDonald's, and they see the free museum. And we get very good reviews now because everything's free.
That helps. It really is amazing stuff in it, though. You have packaging from McDonald's products from around the world. Like, I like the section of all the different pies. Like,
Yeah.
they have like pies with like corn in them and like.
Well, what's happened is it's taken a life of its own. So what we try to do is we don't actually buy anything anymore. The first time we opened the museum, we were buying a couple of things, and then the early 6 months we were buying a few things. And then one of my friends said, "Well, wait a minute, you shouldn't buy them. You should put them on display." So we tell everybody, we should put this on this display. It's yours to keep if you want to come back and get it, because we try to take picture, catalog everything, and put the picture wherever they donate. And if you want it back for your kids, come and get it. And most people just leave it there because more people can view. There's stuff that's just in front of them. And what I've done over the years is, because McDonald's has the biggest collectibles of any company anywhere, but I don't ever try to pick a value. I don't know what's what. So if I get the Beanie Baby dolls or other one things, I just open them up, put them on so people see them, which technically you're not supposed to do if you want to make money or you're a collector. But I'm trying to share everything.
Well, the thing that last time I was there was kind of tripping out on is you have like the complete collection of all the different toys. So when I was a kid, they maybe have like 6 toys for the month. I'd get 3 of them, and I would always see the display at the restaurant. Oh, I hope I get that one. They would never have it, and then I would never think about this again. But then to see like the complete set of like all the Flintstones mugs or all the like dinosaur toys that transform and stuff, it was really weird to see all those things coming back together. Like they've come home almost.
Yeah, and then when the foreigners come to our museum, they love that, and then they go back home. They send us toys from their country, and it's something Americans never see. So it's like it's just taking life of its own, and we're just trying to catalog everything as fast as we can. And there's times we get donation from people that were in management, so they send us other stuff that we never see, applications or forms they get, and so it's just everyone's participating now.
Do you ever get any pushback where people are like, well, why are you going to make a museum like this? That's such a waste of time.
No.
People love McDonald's.
Yeah, I found out everyone has a McDonald's store. Most of them are good. Some might be bad. But it's just a happy time. So it brings back memories. Like you were talking about, it brings back a memory. Now with me, I'm kind of old, so I never saw toys because by the time I was in my 20s, there was no toys.
Well, now you have all of them.
Yeah,
at your corporate headquarters.
And what cracks me up, I grew up eating McDonald's. I buy the property. I have nothing to do with McDonald's, so I had to try to find out what's going on, and I had to do research because I didn't know about the brothers.
Is it true that Maurice McDonald's invented the M logo?
I can't say for sure.
I heard that he was the one who came up with the arch building, like the old school one with the double arches, and he's the one who came up with the M, because they pretty much always had that M as their logo.
I think the M came later when Ray Kroc combined the two arches and made it AM.
So somebody
the brothers
in the
are known
Kroc
for the
era.
golden arches, and I'm feeling that Ray Kroc and figured out, hey, we'll make this an M.
Kroc, great man. Have you ever been to his grave? It's in San Diego.
Ray Kroc?
Yeah.
No.
It's got a McDonald's logo on it, I
Oh,
heard. Yeah.
But I wish I almost bought the McDonald's mansion. If you heard of that, that's what it is.
Oh yeah, and
If you see in the movie, they use a tennis court to map out the floor plan of the McDonald's hamburgers. That building is there. I wanted to buy it, but I couldn't make the deal. They wanted me to buy it, but it was.
maybe someday.
I think it might come back.
I have a question about fast food that maybe you'll know the answer, maybe you won't. It seems like in Arizona, they have pretty much all the chains from the West Coast, but also all the chains from the Midwest to East Coast will make it as far as Arizona, but they won't go into California. Because Arizona has Whataburger, they have Culver's, they have a lot of like these regions, they have Waffle House, they have a lot of places like that. Any idea why Arizona, Phoenix in particular, is like this like mecca of fast food?
No, I don't know why they don't. I think it's a tough market to crack in California because of the cost.
The real estate,
the real estate, the taxes, the laws, the labor laws,
the minimum wages. Yeah.
You know, where a place like Arizona, the minimum wage is still $7.75. It's federal. Where California right now is 11 to 12 to 13 an hour. So like it's hard to establish. You know, if you're and it gets overcrowded with other restaurants. Everyone tries to come to California and open up the newest chain. Places like Chick-fil-A don't have a problem. They dominate.
Yeah.
You know, and so other chains. The other chain came with Raising Cane. They do really well.
Yeah,
They're relatively new, and they're really selling chicken strips similar to Chick-fil-A. So it tells me chicken's the hot product.
Well, we were talking before the show. You said you wanted to move overseas. In Asia, fast food chicken's like really big, right? Because I think they still have Kenny Rogers roasters in Asia.
All the countries I've discovered have identified with rotisserie chicken. So what I have is universal sign language. If you take a picture of our chickens in the machines cooking, universal sign language.
There they are.
They would.
They're the chickens.
Well, it's not quite our machine time. Ours.
Oh, it's close. Anyway.
Oh yeah, close. Okay, I'll take it. And yeah, but all these countries, they identify with chicken. So if they see rotisserie chicken on the spit, they will know restaurant chicken and food.
And they know Juan Pollo.
Yeah, well,
they will know Juan Pollo.
If we go overseas,
yeah.
And I think what happens is in these other countries, they will want us they want American companies. 'Cause I met an Indonesian guy. He has a chicken slaughterhouse in Indonesia. You know, my wife's from Indonesia, so they have a sort of a connection. And he said, well, he said, they want a franchise in Indonesia. I said, no, we can't do that. And he said, well, yeah. He said the margins are there. He said the chicken's the same price, the rent's the same price, the utilities, but then the labor and overhead is way down. So he said, and I said, what's to stop you from copying us, kicking us out? And he said, well, they want American companies.
Well, you've made me very hungry. I think I need to go get some Juan Pollo chicken. Thank you for coming by. We didn't even get to talk about the ghost town you own or anything like that. So you'll have to come back next time. But thank you all for tuning into this fast food-centric conversation. Until next time, this is Adam Papagan reminding you that there's a place you can go, and it's your mind. Good night.